Hello friends, I'm Akash and a hearty welcome to my YouTube channel. You might have seen me competing in spelling bees ever since I was 2 years old. And some of you might have seen 6-year-old me spelling in the Scripps National Spelling Bee or spelling that long word with Mr. Steve Harvey on the super hit TV show Little Big Shots.
Pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
Okay. Pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis.
I became a member of Mensa, the High IQ Society, at age 3, and I was featured in the Learn episode of the 3-part BBC documentary, The Human Body: Secrets of Your Life Revealed, when I was only 7 years old. And you might have recently seen me on the 2020 Netflix documentary film, Spelling the Dream. But since long, many people have asked me, how do you memorize or how do you study? Well, this video explains it all. Before we dig in, I have 2 important points to say. The first one is that identifying the right material to study is key for learning, be it a book or a YouTube video or whatever it may be. Identifying the right material for your studying is key for learning. And the second, and to be fair, most important one, is focusing without distracting. This is the most difficult thing to do in the current world, as we all have numerous things that can easily distract us. You all know what I'm talking about: smartphones. It's very tempting for all of us to see what that notification is. But if you get distracted and picked up the phone and click the notification, you will lose the momentum of learning. And when you get back to learning, it would take a while for you to regain your momentum. So try your best to focus without distracting. It's really, really difficult, but you can do it. And also, based on my experiences, I've come up with these 8 memory tricks to learn efficiently and faster. Number 1, glancing through and identifying key points. The first time you're looking at the material you want to learn, just read through it. If possible, try to understand what is presented to you, but don't try to memorize anything into your brain just yet. Do pay attention to the introduction and to the summary, because these are the key main parts. Focus on the necessary information, leaving out the unnecessary stuff. Try to identify the main point in the subject you are studying. Try to find out what the lesson is conveying to you. In fact, take a pencil or pen and actually underline the main points. This will save you a lot of time when you read next time, because you're going to leave out all the unnecessary parts of the material that you are studying, and you'll focus on the ones that really matter. Number 2, identifying the pattern or logic. Just try to know the concept behind it, the logic, if you can find one. In some of the learning material, if you look carefully, you can actually observe a pattern. Like, if this happens, then this is the consequence. Or if that happens, then the vice versa will happen. And if you can identify those kinds of patterns, then you are done with the major part of the memorization process. Sometimes you may have to remember terms, and yeah, it's fine to memorize those, but coming to the whole topic, it's better to understand the subject logically. Number 3, put it in your own words. Rewrite the necessary parts of the topic you are learning in your own words. And when you do this, your brain would have to first understand the subject and then analyze it to come up with its own sentences. And plus, your brain generally has better chances of remembering your own writing rather than others' writing. This may take some time to do, but that time is really, really well spent because it solidifies what you have just summarized and it puts it in your own words. Number 4, express it out. Try reading it out loud, and if it is possible, explain it to your friend or your brother or your sister or someone. Anyone works. Some terms, like for example, math tables or biological terms or medical terms, you may have to repeatedly say it out or write it down in order to remember. And we can't actually do anything about them because that's just how they are. But guess what? Early mornings are the best time for saying these out. And for some people, group study also works. You can try to explain it to your friends or to your juniors, and that also works. Anything works. Try to say it out loud, explain it. Number 5, the spacing effect. During the learning process, take enough breaks so that your brain isn't overwhelmed with lots of information. Just make sure it's the right amount. So, after intense studying for about 60 to 90 minutes, maybe do something that is totally different for about 15 to 20 minutes, like play a sport or watch a video that you really enjoy and just distract totally from studying. This is called the spacing effect, got its own name, and this will help your learning process to be very effective indeed. You may think you'd be wasting time for that time you're not spending doing your actual studying, but in fact, in the time you are just doing this, your brain is making nerve connections to solidify what you have learned. So now you know how important it is to take this vital break. Now, some people will study continuously for 4 to 5 hours, then take a nap for 1 hour, and then get back to studying. This also works. As long as you're taking a break somewhere, it works. Number 6, alternating. Switching between different subjects when you continuously study for a long time is very important. Simply, you'll study one subject for a while, and then later you'll switch to a different subject. Then, after a little more time, you'll switch back over to the first subject and repeat. When you're studying the same subject for a long time in the day, the brain will become too tired after an hour or so and will need you to do something else or study another subject. And if you have to study multiple subjects, it would be a great idea to include different subjects in between them. Like, let's say you have a lot of math to study, but you also have some other different fields that you want to study. So first, you'll study math for the first hour, and then take a short break with the spacing effect, and then go for something else, say history. And then, after another hour, go back to math. Then, after an hour again, you'll learn science or English. And then after another hour, you will go back to math and just repeat. It may appear that alternating subjects is not effective, but it is actually really, really, really effective. Because you are basically stimulating your brain by alternating the subjects you study. This is the reason why we have different subjects covered in school every day instead of continuously having one subject per day. Say, math all Monday, history all Tuesday, science all Wednesday, and so on. The reason why we don't have that is because it's better to learn something new in various subjects throughout the day rather than just one subject the entire time. Now, let's move on to the 7th trick, mnemonics. If we come across something that is very, very hard to remember, then mnemonics can help you, or mnemonics. These mnemonics are also called as memory aids because they aid your memory. These mnemonics actually simplify the complex material that you'll have to remember, and sometimes gives you clues that you've already heard of before. An example would be Roy G. Biv for the sequence of colors in the light spectrum. Roy G. Biv stands for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Some people also follow VibGR in the reverse order. And finally, number 8. Self-testing. After you have put in a lot of effort implementing all of these different tips to learn, it would be nice if you could self-test. Doing this can identify the weaker areas in the subject that you've learned and will give you a chance to refocus on those weaker areas. It's kind of like playing in qualifier matches before the World Cup or the Olympics. Self-testing will ascertain you that you are a pro and that you are ready for the real test. Say, in the case of qualifier matches, these ascertain the players that they are pros and that they are ready for the real competition. And if you follow these 8 memory tricks, I'm very confident that you will effectively learn things efficiently and faster. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you like my videos, then make sure to subscribe and don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't miss my new videos every time I upload. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Love you, Akash.